Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Raider tutorial. This one is on impact. I'm going to be using this clip I scored earlier today. So, before I get into the actual editing and explaining of how to create impact, I'm going to really quickly mention for those who are new here, if there's anyone new, I've recently dropped a replay channel in my Discord, which I will really quickly show you. If you come to my Discord, you can find the replay rules and the practice replays channel where you can have every replay you could want, and I'll be adding new ones regularly. So if you'd like to practice, head over there. I'd like to help you guys out with those because I always needed them when I was starting. As well as that, you can find all the previous tutorials in the description. I'll link them below, and I'll link the Discord below as well, obviously. So let's get into this. So I've got a little thing here showing my top 5 ways of adding impact. This is obviously going to be unedited, so let me know if I've missed anything out. I'll do my best to inform you after the tutorial. But yeah, so let's get into the first one. This is your actual cinematic. So it's very important if you're trying to create impact how your cinematic actually looks. But first you need to know what you're working with, as in what song you're working with. So let's take a look. This is from my edit Lucid with Shockwave right here. This one, bang, if you want to find the song. And this is the song I'm going to be using. I'm actually take it back a bit because there's a heavy metal part. We're going to go with this part of the song. Matter of fact, I'm just going to really quickly keyframe it. Bang, keyframe there. Bang, keyframe here, so it fades in. We'll go -50. That sounds about right. Alright, so let's get into the actual cinematic. So if your cinematic is very linear, not much movement, not much FOV changing, not much like, not much going on. I'll show you an example. So if your cinematic looks a little something like this, I didn't tilt the camera once, I didn't zoom in or out once, like so. I didn't change my distance from the ball like this, or like this. It's going to look really, really not great when you time remap it. I'll give you an example. So if I now go ahead and clip this, because obviously I'm recording, I can't record it, so it's going to be a little bit more annoying. It's not going to look bad, but it can look a lot better. So I will go ahead and drag this in. Drag it in on the left, as always, double click. Scroll along the blue bar, holding left click to find where I want it to start. Click this button underneath, just underneath to where I want it to start, and to where I want it to end, click this one. Now drag it in from the left, and we've got it perfectly cut. So, let me drag it here. I'm going to really quickly time remap this. This isn't the time remap part of the video or the syncing, so don't pay attention to how I'm doing it. I'm just showing you the movement and how your cinematic is filmed. So I'm just going to really quickly bang, like that. It's not even, alright. So, let's have a look. It's not terrible. I'm going to make it a bit longer because it's obviously not synced, then it's going to annoy me. It is not terrible, but it can be improved a lot. There's no zoom. I'm not focusing on the ball or anything. Like, we can improve this a lot. So let's get into how you want your cinematic to be looking. If you want impact, on a heavy drop or whatever. So I'm going to turn on aspect ratio. So how you could do it, I'll give you an example. I'm going to start zoomed in. I'm going to be on the right side of the car, maybe tilt it this way. And then once they've hit the ball, I'm going to zoom out like crazy and I'll tilt the other way and I'll increase my distance from the ball. So let's have a look at how this looks already. So already, once we time remap this is going to look miles better. It's not as smooth. You don't want smooth when you're creating impact most of the time. Depends on what you're going for again. But you want to be switching up your cinematic. You don't want to leave it really linear. You want it to be dynamic. You want it to be different. Sorry, I didn't do my tactic. Something like there. So if I go like, put this here, this here, and then this like here. Again, this isn't the time wrapping part of the video. I'm just messing around with this quick. You can already see this is miles better. Watch. You can see I'm switching around my camera angle. I'm changing the zoom. I'm changing the tilt. It already looks miles better than this. It's literally just one straight line. I haven't changed anything. So that is how you can vary your cinematics. You know, you can do ones like, I don't know, like literally sharp, really quick cuts for impact. You can do stupid stuff like that. That is horrible. Never do that. But I'm just saying, please be creative with your cinematics. Don't do straight lines. Anyway, I've taken way too long to explain that. Let's get into syncing. So the best way you can sync with markers. So come over here to the right of your timeline and drag that marker icon to where you want that point to be. You can also do this on the song, I believe. Nope, I'm an idiot. You can't. You can, but I don't know. So all we're going to do is obviously drag our markers along to where we want our points to be, where we want our clip changes, our significant impacts to be. So there's another one about here. And another one about here. This is the best way to sync. Now, when creating impact, you don't want your cinematics lasting long at all. If I maybe miss one out here, and that cinematic was really, really long, like, why is that not cut? God's sake. Was really long like this. You know, I'm missing a lot of key beats in here because you want to be matching the vibe of the song when syncing, when time remapping. You want to be thinking, okay, how does this song make you feel? It's fast, it's hard. You want to be having quick cut cinematics. This is obviously in my case, it may be different for you, but this is usually how it's going to be when creating impact. So that's obviously how you're going to be wanting to sync. Let's get into the next point, how you time remap. Now, I'm going to make another cinematic, but I'll do it on a bit later in the clip. So, with your time remapping, you want it to be sharp. You don't want to be having smooth time remapping most of the time. You want to be having something super sharp. So I've gone on with a little bit of a creative sin here. You know, I've changed my angle, changed my velocity a lot. But you know what? I don't like that. I haven't moved the camera enough. It's not going to match the vibe of my song. So I'm going to start closer here. Zoom in more. And I'm going to, you know, increase my distance from the ball a little bit more so I travel further in the cinematic. There you go. That's much better. So let me record that. Now, when I drag this in, let me get into the time remapping. So I'm going to cut my clip, of course, and I'll stop it around there. So I deleted the markers, but let me place them again. So one about here, and one about here. So of course, you're going to click Ctrl-Alt-T to time remap. I have a full tutorial on time remapping. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave in the description in the playlist. Place a for God's sake, what are they called? I've forgotten. Wow, I've just gone blank. What are they called? It doesn't matter. Place one of them there, place one of them in the end, and highlight them both, click F9. Now we'll go into the graphs. And we want our velocity to be super sharp like this. Maybe not that sharp, but something along the lines of this. So I like this a lot. Maybe you want it to be sharp out as well. See, this actually looks quite good, to be fair. Let me change up the res a little bit. So now once I pair this with effects, which I'm going to get into in a second, this can be looking super, super nice. You want your time remapping to be sharp, as I just mentioned. You don't want to have it like, let me give you an example, maybe super linear, super straight. It just takes away that feeling of, you know, choppy impact, which is what we are looking for. So let's get into the effect. So let's go over one frames and impact frames. So how we're going to do that is we're going to right click over here, go new adjustment layer, or you can control alt. I got to remember the keybind, wait. No, that's a no. There we go. Okay, so control alt and Y creates an adjustment layer. You can just do that. And then I'm going to cut it, control shift D, delete the bottom layer, and we're going to make this literally one frame. There we go, so we can see it's only going to last one frame. Now you can add any effect you want to this. Let's go with Colorama. And wow, you know what? Let's go with it. Okay, that is a bit of a crazy one. But this is literally just an example of what you can add. You can add any effect you want to this literal one frame, and it creates that feeling of impact. So maybe I go ramp red. It's a bit dark. Maybe let's go with this. Okay, it doesn't look great, but you can, of course, literally do whatever you want. Maybe put some invert on that. No idea how this is going to look. Oh, wow, it's completely lagging my PC. Alright, interesting. So my PC just completely lagged out. I hope I'm all good. I'm going to continue. This actually looks really good. You can see I've put S_invert Sapphire plugin and Colorama on this. That's looking pretty nice, if I must say. I don't mind that at all. So that is one way you can do it. You can also use overlays. So if you guys would like to ask for overlays, just hop in my Discord. I can give you anything you need. It's easier for me to do that than you drop in a comment. So I'm going to go find an overlay really quick off of my PC. I've got a folder for them. I'm going to use... I've got this glitch one right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this up so it will fit over my clip. I'm going to find a part where it's covering most of the screen, because obviously we need that to sort of fade out. And I'm going to click F4 because I can't see the option. And then I see mode. And I'm going to go to add. So you can do something along these lines. And if you're not happy with that, maybe you can add Colorama again. And oh wait, this isn't going to work, is it? Oh no, there you go. But obviously I'm brushing this, you know. I haven't done this sort of glitch in the past. I've got a bunch of glitch overlays, but I couldn't just find them right then. So that is how you use overlays. You can also use a light leak. All you do with this, obviously go to add and bang. That is all you do for that. But I wouldn't recommend using light leaks for impact anyway. I'm going to find that glitch I use most of the time if I'm able to. It's going to really annoy me if I can't. Overlays. Ugh. This isn't a bad one. We're going to go with this. This isn't the one I was looking for, but it will do. I'm going to fire the part where it covers the screen and go to add. So there you go, this isn't looking bad at all. I'm going to add Colorama once again. And I'm going to go output cycle, ramp red, just like so. So this is one example of how you can add impact. Now, another way of adding impact I forgot to mention is pan crop. I've got a whole tutorial on pan crop. So go check that out again in the playlist in the description. So this applies, I'm going to set the first keyframes to really zoomed in and moving about. Select all the keyframes, F9, and I'm going to make the velocity sharp, like so. So it's going to start zoomed in. I'm going to add motion blur to my clip, so it's nice and smooth. This is looking pretty nice. You know, there's quite a decent amount of impact on this. You know, it feels like the song. So, once I've done all of this, I'm going to get into shakes, which is obviously our last point. So all you're looking for with your shakes is to, obviously, I know it sounds crazy, to create impact. So what I'm going to do is I've got a few shake presets, Big Donker Impact from Short. Shout out Shockwave for that one. But yeah, I'm going to leave a tutorial in the description on how you can, literally all you need to know about shakes by Mr. Gary. You can see shakes can have a massive part in creating impact. So I'm going to drag these keyframes a bit more forward. I want it to be a bit sharper, a bit quicker. And that's looking nice. Hop in my Discord and ask me for any shake presets if you need them. I can't exactly put them in the description. But yeah, you just want to be making something have a lot of impact. I've got a few more shake presets. This one is also good. If I can find the keyframes. Here we go, drag them to where they need to be. Like so. So, I hope this tutorial has helped. This is the best way you can create impact. I'm going to go over really quick all the points. So, your actual cinematic. Vary the FOV, vary the movement, vary the zoom, and vary the tilt. You do not want to have a really plain cinematic. You want it to be jolting quite a bit, like jolting over the place quite a bit. Syncing, fast paced. You want it to be matched to your song. You want to feel the vibe of your song through how you sync. This will come with time mainly, so don't get mad if you can't get a hang of it at the start. But over time, you'll gain a gradual feel of where you need to be syncing. How you timing up the cinematics, so sharp, velocity, you know, quick cinematics. Effect, impact, one frames. You can really get creative with this. It's hard to explain what to do with these, but it's just up to creativity for this one mainly. And shakes. Shakes are really simple. They're as easy as dragging and dropping whatever you need. Often I'm not going to get into. I don't make shakes, so I'm not going to get into how to make them. I do know how, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I hope this short tutorial has been helpful. I feel like I've rushed this one really quickly. Again, Discord in the description. Everything I mentioned in the video in the description. Yeah, hope this has helped. Bye bye.